Hey guys, it's David Jackson Jr. Hi, and welcome to part 2 of 3 types of vitamin C. In our first talk, we discussed cliches, the importance of cliches, what they are, what they can do for you. And today we're going to move on to the second C. And the second C is choice. I spend a lot of time thinking about choice, and I also spend a lot of time talking about choice, particularly in my consulting career, because when I'm talking to clients, part of it is a consistent process of making small individual choices that are going to lead to a larger and collective success. But when I think about the word choice, one of the first things that comes to mind is something that one of my very first consulting clients told me. He said, "You can think of life as a smorgasbord. It has an abundance of opportunity. But for everything involved in that opportunity, if you think of life as a smorgasbord, some people naturally gravitate to caviar, while others naturally gravitate to Spam." Now, that's not an indictment for any of you that A, either like caviar, or B, like Spam. It's just a really, really basic way to hear and understand that people make very individual choices based on whatever it is they like. I read a quote that I think is very, very good. And that quote is, "Whatever choice you make makes you." Let me repeat that. Whatever choice you make makes you. It sounds simple at the beginning and maybe even a bit trite, but that's really a deep concept. Because when you look at people that perform best in every walk of public life, you can be sure that they made a series of small choices that got them to that best place. And the thing is true in private life as well. If you look at a great family, a happy family, you will generally see that they made a series of choices that got them there. But that doesn't mean that we're genetically predisposed or wired to make good choices. Sometimes we make choices that aren't so good. And this gets to the personal part of what I wanted to talk about today. Recently, I made a choice that ended up being a bad choice. And it wasn't just a bad choice, it was a stupid choice that's on a collision course to potentially be a disastrous choice. But, like the cliche that I talked about in part 1, it is true that this choice enabled me to think about things and see things in an entirely different way. It's made me be able to now contemplate a future that looks much different from the past that I had. The sad thing and the negative thing is that as a result of this bad choice, poor choice, stupid choice, whatever you want to call it, I deeply hurt someone that I care tremendously about. And I hurt them in a way that I think is very, very difficult to get over, and something that is almost indescribable in terms of my thought process for how I would go through it. So putting aside any academic inclinations or cute thoughts, let me just tell you that let the choices you make be a barometer for all good things that you want to do moving forward. Live your lives as though every choice you make is being seen and evaluated. It'll help you to perhaps make some better choices moving forward. But the other thing, and the thing that I take heart in, is that in my case, even though I made a horrible choice, and I'm not going to talk more to you guys about what it is because, well, just because it's a very personal, intimate thing. But I've made a conscious decision, and that decision is I'm not going to let a bad choice define not only who I am, but more importantly, I'm not going to let a bad choice define who I'm going to be moving forward. And that's a good thing. And that's what I want you to take out of what we're doing today. Is I want you to know in your lives, in your career, in whatever area of your life that you've perhaps made a bad choice, it does not have to be the defining choice. It does not have to be the choice that shames you forever, or conversely, if you made a great choice, it's not a choice that holds you in high esteem forever. Life is dynamic. It's always moving. So we have to make good choices all of the time. If you've made a great choice, you can't rest on it. If you've made a poor choice, you're not imprisoned by it. You're not shackled by it. However painful it may be, you can try to find a way to move beyond it. Choices, they will define you. Hey, meet me in lesson 3. Thanks.